All right, what's going on, everybody? It's your SA Bobby J coming to you live and in living color. Uh, Pray everybody's having a good day. Day two of the detox. Hopefully, everything is going well. Hopefully, you guys are seeing the results that you need to see. Things are going to manifest themselves like never before. For those of you, of course, you're in resets or you're coming back through at least for your second time. Some of you a third time because you've gone through the journey. But we pray that this process will be just what you have need of, that you might reach, obtain, sustain, and maintain those goals, that healthy lifestyle. And that's just what I'm here to talk to you about today. I'm here to talk to you about maintaining a 40-day turn up mindset. Now, why do we want to talk about maintaining a 40-day turn up mindset and lifestyle? I use me as an example. I came in 2022 in the Meta Me in that spring, starting on March 5th, weighing in about 276. By the time we finished with the 40-day turn up, 32 pounds, 30 pounds before the journey, another 25 in the journey. When it was all said and done, just getting through both the 40-day and the journey, I had lost 88 pounds. So yeah, you best. I went ahead and pushed through, lost that first 100 within about 9 months. And of course, you lose that much weight in that short of a time. Everybody's looking, when is the weight going to come back? Well, I'm pleased to say that in about, since 2022, the weight has not come back. Now, I'm not saying I haven't had my challenges. I'm not saying I haven't not had my ups and my downs. But for the most part, I have been blessed to sustain a 100-pound weight loss for well over 3 years. And to me, I attribute it to having a 40-day turn up mindset. Um, and that's what I want to sow into you guys and encourage you all that are back here in reset. I should always tell my participants as a leader and as a coach is that you never leave the 40-day. No matter what happens, even when it's over, when those 40 days have passed, you never leave the 40-day. But for whatever reason, we left the 40-day, right? And that's why you're back here in reset. You're trying to get back to that place, get back to your wins, get back to your gains, get back to your trophies. Some of you just need a refresher. Some of you just need to just be, brushed off, polished up again, and pushed back into the game. But again, the goal and objective is for you to never leave this. That this is truly a lifestyle change. It's not an experience, though it is an experience, but it's not meant to be just a 40-day experience. It's meant to be a lifestyle change. And so I'm going to ask the simple question: what's your motivation? What's motivating you for this lifestyle change? Is it your health? You got some things that's going on that need to be addressed. I don't necessarily need to know. You know what you're going through. I myself am a 13-year cancer survivor. Even going through after this process, found out that I have congestive heart failure. So we all have health issues, health challenges. So maybe that's your motivation. And maybe it's your family. Maybe it's, your husband, your wife, somebody going through the process. You saw them have a lifestyle change and they motivated you. And so you decided to jump on in because they dragged you in or pulled you in or asked you to come in. But for whatever reason, that's the motivation that's behind it. And some of you may just want to simply just lose weight. You saw somebody lose weight. I know that's why I came. I came for to lose about 40, 50 pounds. Of course, it wasn't enough when I got there. Looking in the mirror, it was like I wanted more. Maybe it's getting off medicine, getting off blood pressure meds, getting your A1C in check. Whatever that motivation is, I encourage that motivation to be strong enough to sustain you till you reach your goal. Because see, sometimes we can have simple motivations such as, oh, I'm trying to get into an outfit, I got a vacation, I got a cruise. Those temporary motivations only last but for so long. They get you through for the moment. But you need something that's going to sustain you to really reach the goal that you're really trying to obtain. Nothing wrong with getting ready for that high school reunion. Nothing wrong with getting ready for that cruise. But when it's over, what are you going to do? You're going to go back? Well, I put in all the work to go back. So I want to encourage you to put the work in and move forward, to keep pressing through, keep pressing through. And that's what we're here for in Reset. Reset is here again to encourage you, to remind you of what you've already been given, to get you back into the game. So talking about getting that motivation. And so you're either here for two reasons. You're here for two reasons. One is you need to be here. The other one is you want to be here. I know it almost sounds the same, but this is a little different, because wanting to be here can be on the surface. You just want to be a part. You miss the 40-day. You miss the camaraderie. You miss having a champion. You miss team meetings. You miss Dr. Joe. Maybe you just miss drinking detox. I don't know, but you just wanted to be here. But then that need to be here goes way deeper than that surface of just wanting to be here. That need to be here is you understanding that there's a change in your life that you want to make, and you're here to put the work in, to put the effort in, that you might obtain and achieve that result. That's the carrot that you need to put in front of you. The understanding that I need to be here, whether it be for your health, whether it be for your family, whether it be for getting off meds, whatever it is, blood pressure, cholesterol, you understand that I need this in order for me to obtain and to achieve this healthy lifestyle that I'm hoping for, that I need. Not that surface stuff, but the deep stuff. And so we want to get you into developing that right mindset, the right mindset. Now, 2 days in, starting the detox. I'm pretty sure some of y'all have gotten used to your personal closets. I hope you've had fun in there, but now it's time to go to work. Now, before we go to work, you should have already been at work. What do you mean I should have already been at work? All right, you had this whole book, right? Reset, renew, restore. You had a whole book. And believe it or not, you were supposed to finish that book before we even got to day one of the detox. Now, my question to you is, did you read the book? Did you go through the chapters? Did you go through the exercise in each chapter? Did you hear the narratives from Dr. Joe that he posted weekly to encourage you about what each chapter was for? Now, again, it's open, honest confession. You can say yes, you can say no. No judgment here. But if you haven't read the book, I would encourage you to go do the workbook. Go through the exercises of the workbook. Because the thing that you're going to need to sustain this mindset and reset is you got to have a renewed mind. You got to have a renewed mind. It starts in the mind, right? Your body would do what your mind tells it to do, not the other way around. See, that's how some of us get into trouble. We allow our flesh, we allow our body to lead us. It's not designed for your flesh and your body to lead you. It's designed for your mind to lead you, right? Well, it says, Word of God says what? To be transformed. Wow, how are you going to be transformed? By the renewing of your mind. And so I encourage you, go get the book. Read the book. Get into the book, right? Book. Yes, get into the book. That's going to get you started in terms of having a 40-day mindset. Next thing is you got all of that pre-work, right? All that pre-work Dr. Joe did. Go back, look at those videos, get that information, let it get inside of you. Talking about that one last hit, right? All of these was great, quieting the noise. It ain't my fault. The beauty of hitting rock bottom, and some of us have reached that spot when we've gotten so low, right? We ain't got nowhere else to go. And so you just need to get that motivation back in, go in, get your mind right, get the book in, get the pre-work in, take all of that in, right? And get your mind right as we get ready to go into this process. So now we've got 2 days in, you're finishing up with the detox. Now we're about to hit the floor running, right? And you guys know, you know the parameters of the 40-day turn up, what I would call the pillars, the lifestyle, the simple things. I know Dr. Joe is going over it exclusively over on Facebook with the 40-day turn up because they don't know, but you are reset, you all should know. So, and with that, that we plant-based diet, 80-20 rule, right? 4 meals per day, every 3 hours, 400 calories or less, yes. Protein, carbs, and fat, yes. Yes, you know that, right? You know you need to measure your food, right? That's the only way you're gonna get that calorie count right. Those are the things that you know you need to do that you have to get back into doing. Some of you are doing it, some of you are not. But that's that exercise, that mental muscle that you got to get back into doing on a regular basis. You understand that you need to exercise. You have to burn some calories. You got to move it, move it, move it, right? 300 to 400 calories daily. Burn something, And as Miss Xavier went through on yesterday, you got to have water, right? Half your body weight in ounces. She went over exclusively. So if you didn't get enough on water, I would encourage you to go back and watch yesterday's live with Miss Xavier Lacey. She does a great job dealing with the water. So you guys know that these are the foundational things that you need. So you have the tools. You got the book, you got the pre-work, you got everything that you went through before through the 40-day turn. You got everything you went through before with the journey. You have all those resources in front of you. You have the tools. So the only thing that you need to really work on is getting the mindset right. Getting the mindset where you don't go back. Getting the mindset so that you can keep pressing forward and never turn back, where it becomes part of your daily lifestyle. Now, I'm not going to say that you're not going to have ups and downs. I'm not going to say you're not going to have hits and misses. Lord knows I still have hits and misses. I think one of the lessons I plan on getting into later on is talking about dealing with your food addictions. I am a food addict, even though I'm trying to maintain my weight. That's why I got to maintain my weight, because I am a food addict. I still have an attraction to pizza. I still have an attraction to cookies. Lord knows when I visit the state of Texas, I got to have me some Bluebell ice cream. Yes, we have issues. We have struggles. We can keep it real, y'all. We in reset. But the key to it is understanding what you're trying to obtain and achieve in this lifestyle. So, and I may not have said that correctly, right? But I understand what I'm trying to do. That I ain't trying to go back. And so, me looking at the pizza and looking at the cookies and looking at the ice cream, understanding that there's a lifestyle that I have to maintain in order for me to keep my trophy, to keep my gains. Because if not, if I fall back off, trust me, I don't. All those pounds can come back. I don't want them to come back, and that's the mindset that you have to have. Whatever gain and success you have along the way, you have to encourage yourself to not want to go back to that. So with that, I want you to begin to identify some barriers. Got to identify some barriers. There's three barriers that you have to get into that will push you back and keep you from obtaining what it is that you're trying to achieve in life, especially towards this lifestyle change. One is the emotional barriers. Emotional barriers. What are your stressors? Your anxiety. Is it low self-esteem? You have to get into these emotional barriers, relationships with, no, that's like in a different way, but the emotional side. Some of us are emotional eaters. You get stressed out, things happen in life. The first thing you want to do is you want to find companionship with food. So you have to understand the barriers that you're dealing with. Is it an emotional barrier? The other one is a practical barrier. Practical barrier. The practical barrier is that, it's how you work. If you're a teacher, you're teaching in class, you can't stop every 3 hours and break down and have a meal. I get it. I understand. You're working in the hospital. You're a nurse. You're on the floor. It's your shift. Yes, you ain't got 3 hours. You might be in with a patient. You ain't got time to stop to be like, hey, I'll be back. I got to go eat my fourth meal or my third meal for the day. No, you're on the job. So we understand that you have those practical things that you have to contend with. And then the lack of time, the lack of resources, So when you identify that emotional barrier, that practical barrier, and then this next one we get into is that social barrier, and that's that peer pressure, right? That's the unsupportive family. That's the ones that's every time you show up, they want to feed you, talking about, oh, you're getting too skinny, don't lose too much weight, or you look sick, or the ones who just want to go hang out after work, let's go have a drink, let's go here, let's go eat this, let's go drink this. You have those social barriers. And so all of those you have to be able to identify and say, okay, what's going to stop me from achieving, sustaining, and maintaining my lifestyle? Is it an emotional barrier, practical barrier, or social barrier? And once you identify that, then you have to what? Plan to attack the barrier, right? You don't necessarily build up the defense. You have to go into the offense. What are you going to do to combat these barriers, right? They're coming, so you have to prepare. You have to prepare. You have to come up with a game plan. And so another thing to get into beyond getting with the barrier is acknowledging the denial, right? Sometimes we just live in a state of denial. You had great success, you had great progress. Whatever reason, you fell back into some old ways, fell back into some old habits. You can make an excuse as to why you did it. Get out of the denial. You shouldn't have done it. Now it's time to get right. We're not pointing the finger again. This is a no judgment free. This is a judgment-free zone. No judgment here. But the goal and objective is to get you back right, get you back to the 40-day mindset, where it's not just for 40 days, but it's a lifestyle. So I encourage you to set realistic goals, realistic objectives, realistic expectations. And so when you set your goals, you have to look at it in two ways. You got short-term and you got long-term. Short-term goals have to lead to long-term realities, right? Short-term goal, I'm gonna walk 30 minutes a day. Short-term goal, I'm gonna make sure I drink my water. Short-term goal, right? I'm gonna make sure I have my 4 meals a day, 400 calories less. Those are short terms for that day. Long-term goal is what? I want to lose 20 pounds. I want to lose 50 pounds. I want to lose 100 pounds. I want to get off blood pressure meds. I want my A1C to drop. That's the long term. So in order to get to the long term, you have to be the master of your short-term goals. And so then your short-term goals, again, is just simply the foundational things from the 40-day turn-up. Protein, carbs, and fat. 4 meals a day. Every 3 hours, 400 calories or less. Half your weight in water. Exercise daily, 300-400 calories burned. It's those simple things. You just got to do them. You just got to do it. You just got to become part of your lifestyle, part of your process to help you get to your long-term goals. And then you have to understand there's a difference between visions and hallucinations, right? You got to have a vision for yourself in terms of where you are now and where you see yourself going with the plan and the purpose to get there. All right. That vision helps to fuel your motivation. You have to see yourself on the other side. Many of us get caught up in a hallucination. And hallucinations, they act like visions, but they're not. Hallucinations have no basis in reality. That's you coming into the reset. You got 40 days and you say, I'm going to lose 60 pounds. Now, some of us, you can lose probably got enough where you can lose about 60 pounds if you put the work in. But you have to understand that. Are you really going to put that kind of work in to lose that much weight in that short of a time? No. So you have to think that it's a long term. Dr. Joe said, it's a marathon. It's not a sprint. It's long term. You're playing the long game in this process. That's going to help you gain the 40-day mindset, that lifestyle, because you understand it's the long game, not the short game, not the quick game, but it's the long game, right? So get out of these hallucinations about I'm gonna lose 50 pounds real quick. And no. Long term. Have a true vision, a realistic vision, realistic expectation that you can achieve in this process. And by all means, create yourself a plan. Create yourself a plan to get there, right? Now, if you're going through the journey, you had the vision board, demolished the house, right? You saw your house, turned down that foundation, and you ended up with your vision plan. That's a wonderful vision plan. I would say in addition to, you need a daily plan, a weekly plan, as well as a monthly plan with this mindset. Why do I need a daily, a weekly, and a monthly? Because it all works together. Remember, I got to do the small in order to get to the big, right? I just can't say I built the skyscraper. The skyscraper first starts with, I got to dig a hole. You got to start with one small thing, and that one small thing helps you to grow to a bigger thing. And so you having a daily plan is I got to master this day. And once you get to the point where you got this day in place, then you have an understanding of what's needed for the week. Then you have an understanding for what's needed for the month, right? So you're coming off 2-day detox. By now, you should be thinking, what am I going to eat? Not just for the rest of the week, but what am I going to do for tomorrow? What's meal one, meal two, meal three, meal four? What does that look like? Have I prepped? Have I shopped? Am I ready? That's having that daily plan, right? That weekly plan says, okay, I need to have enough to make it not only through just Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, Saturday. I got to have XXX so I can have for these days. I need my food prep containers. I need my storage containers. I need this. That's that weekly goal. And then you just begin to exercise to the point when it becomes a monthly plan. And you vision cast for yourself, not just for the moment, but you vision cast for yourself for the long term. All right. So again, talking about developing this 40-day mindset, this 40-day lifestyle, sustaining it and maintaining it. Of course, one of the things I want to do throughout the next 40 days is kind of give you what I like to call cheat codes, because in the midst of this, I do cheat. No, but the cheating that I'm talking about is not the cheating that you're thinking about. But you got to cheat, right? And cheating is just getting an unfair advantage over your opponent. And in this case, I am my opponent, right? I'm fighting against me, so I have to cheat against me. So, if I talk about having the pizza, the cookies, and the ice cream, then I understand that there's something I've got to do to counteract the pizza, the cookie, and the ice cream. Now, I'm not telling y'all to go do that. I'm not telling y'all to go have it. So y'all gonna get me fired from the 40-day. But what I am saying is that you have to develop a mindset to the point where you understand what you're trying to achieve, what you're trying to get, and then be able to put it in place, put it in action. And again, you might have some pitfalls along the way, but understanding what those pitfalls mean and be able to get back up again. So first thing is, I want to encourage you, or if I was in church, I would say, write this down. You have to shift from a goal to a lifestyle. So wait, you said set realistic goals and expectations. Yes. So in this process, you're going to have goals and expectations, but then you want to shift your goal and expectations to becoming your lifestyle. It's not just something that I'm trying to do. This is something I am doing. It becomes part of you. That's what's happened with me within the 40-day turnout. Having been in this thing for over 3 years, is that it is just my lifestyle. It's not, oh, I have to do it. No, I do have to do it. It's so ingrained in me. It's just who I am. It feels strange not to do it. So what started out as a goal has become my lifestyle. And that's just how I see it. It's not, oh, I'm doing this for the 40 days. No, I'm doing it because it's just who I am. So you live in such a way where you shift your goal to a lifestyle. Again, you got to think long term. So the concept of weighing food, counting calories, drinking water, again, it's not just for 40 days. It becomes lifestyle. It's just something that you do on a regular. All right. So the next thing I would tell you to do is say, write this down, is you got to keep smaller benchmark goals. Wait, I thought you said change your goals to lifestyle. Yes. But before you get to the lifestyle, you really got to start small before you get big. So you got to get the smaller goals in place. Small wins help to lead to the big wins, right? See, if you start off with the big win and you don't obtain it, then you might get discouraged. You might stop along the way. But if you start with the small win and you get that right, and the small win will lead to the next win, lead to the next one. And before too long, you got a winning culture. And then everything is working out for your good. So start small, work big. Don't work big. Start small, then work your way big. Give yourself benchmarks along the way. If it's 50 pounds, then 5 pounds this week, 5 pounds next week. Don't worry about the 50, just focus on the 5. And that's where I'm going with it. Don't worry about, oh, I want to be able to do this big thing. No. That's the big vision that's down the road. Right now, you got the smaller benchmark that you're trying to get to that's going to help you make your bigger goal. Next one is, also say, write this down, is monitor your progress. Monitor your progress. One of the things that I do on the daily is I get on the scale every day. You need to get on the scale every day. You need to understand what the reaction is from the food, exercise, or whatever it is that you did or did not do, what effect it had on your body. Now, I don't check my blood sugar on the regular. My wife checks her blood sugar on the regular. But if you need to check your blood sugar on a regular, check your blood sugar on a regular. Check your blood pressure on a regular. Remember, your blood pressure, if that thing is up, that's your check engine light of your body. That something ain't right. So these are things that you have to monitor on a regular basis, not just within the 40 days, not just when you're in reset. This has to become a daily lifestyle. Monitor your progress, right? You got the non-negotiables. You understand these are the things that you have to do in order to sustain and maintain this lifestyle. You always have to check in. There's no such thing as, oh, I got on the scale and all of a sudden I gained 20 pounds. Before you got to gaining that 20 pounds, you had to gain at least 10, you had to gain at least 5, you had to at least gain 1. And so you getting on the scale, you making that, monitoring that progress along the way is going to help you see what it is that you are not doing. And hopefully it's enough to give you cause to pause to say, I'm going too far. I need to pull myself back in, because before too long, my 5 pounds is going to become 10. So that's why you monitor your progress. You got to stay mindful. I'll write this down. Stay mindful, right? Stay mindful of the goal that you have in mind. Now, remember, don't let all of this work that you put in be in vain. All of this effort, all of this energy. We watch participants, you sow $10 registration and you think we owe you the world, right? Oh, I didn't get this, oh, I didn't get this. So you have to value the resources, the time, effort, and the energy that you put in beyond the $10 registration fee, right? All of the information, all of that which Dr. Joe has poured into you, all of that your champion is pouring into you, all of that the supervisors are pouring into you, all of this whole village is pouring into you. Just be mindful that you're never again, you have to say to yourself that it can never be that again. All right, so stay mindful of that. Stay mindful of all the effort and energy that's going into this, so you can have value to it. It's one thing to say, it's not the thing I'm gonna say. You don't want to put yourself in a situation where, you devalue the process. That's what's going to help you put the weight back on. You have to be able to value it enough to say, I'm not going back again. Next one I would say is keep your support system. Or I should say, write this down. Keep your support system. Stay in contact with your buddy, especially if you got a good one. Your coach, your champion, if you got a good one. If they're going to motivate you and encourage you, keep that relationship in place. Don't let it be a situation where you go through this process and then once you're away from the village, the people that you turn to are the ones that encourage the unhealthy lifestyle, the old drinking buddies, the ones who want to go out to eat all the time. You need the right support system. You don't need the ones that's telling you, oh, no, you look good. It's okay. You can go ahead and have this. It ain't going to hurt nothing. No, it is going to hurt something. It might not hurt in that moment, but it's going to hurt in the long run, because they're going to always be telling you it ain't going to hurt and it ain't going to hurt nothing. Before too long, you're going to be looking just like them, feeling just like them, acting just like them. And that's what they want. But you got a different vision for yourself. You have a different mindset for yourself. You want to see yourself in a different place. So you want to surround yourself with people who have that same vision for themselves and that same vision for you, that they want to see you to attain and achieve a healthy lifestyle. So don't go with the crowd. Don't go with the crowd. You want to go with a good core people that's going to support you and encourage you along the way, not the ones that's going to tell you, oh, don't get too small. I don't like you looking like that. No. I tell people, you want whoever it is to get as small as they can get, irregardless as to what you think about it, how you feel about it. You want to get to the spot where you look good, feel good, and you're comfortable with how you look and feel. All right, I feel a long-winded spirit coming on, so I got to bring this thing down to a close. And so the last thing I would tell you, I should say the next to the last thing I would tell you is write this down. Make adjustments as needed. All right, so in this process, you have the foundation that you're going to do. You're going to need to make some tweaks along the way. Plateaus will happen, right? You get to a place when you feel like, hey, I'm tired of doing the same 40-day turn-up process. You may need to take a few mental breaks, try some new things. You go to YouTube, they got all kind of diets out there to tell you. You try it, and all it's going to do is bring you back to the 40-day turn-up, because you realize that, they say it works, but nothing works as good as this process. Change some things up. You're going to switch from 400 calories to 300 calories. That's one of the things I had to do. increase exercise. Just you have to make these tweaks along the way to get the thing just right for you. And finally, don't settle. Or I should say, write this down. Don't settle. That's the biggest thing. You're in this process. You want to develop the mindset. You want to get this lifestyle. At the end of the day, don't settle. Don't settle for anything less than you attaining your goals. Don't settle for anything less for you achieving your goals. Don't settle for anything less for you sustaining and maintaining your goals. Anything less would be a disaster. So I would encourage you to be victorious, to reach your goals, to reach your expectations. They are attainable. Again, start small, work your way big. You'll get there. Like I said, I'm 3 years in. I'm still not there. People look, they laugh, they say, what do you mean? Yeah, I'm maintaining the lifestyle, but I'm still not exactly where I want to be. Do I want to necessarily get smaller? No, but I want to be a little bit more fit. I want to be a little bit more lean. I still got some wrinkles on some folds. I still got a little, I forget the wrinkled dog's name, but I still got some stuff I need to work on. So, took me a long time to be big, stay big for long. It's take me a long time to be small, stay small. So, but I understand where I'm at. And so if I'm not going to settle, I encourage you not to settle. You can obtain, sustain, and achieve this lifestyle. It can be done. All right, that's my time. S.A. Bobby J. hollering at you. You all be well, be blessed. Talk to you soon. Peace.